Drivers have grown accustomed to manipulating the steering wheel without thinking about it, since power steering systems became widely used in the 1960s. Most people have never driven a car without power steering because it has become so common. This makes it even more worrisome when these systems malfunction and it becomes difficult to operate the steering wheel once more. Don't panic if you're having trouble turning the steering wheel. A few fast fixes will have your car back on the road in no time. In this short video, we will tell you the most common reasons why your steering wheel is hard to turn. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. A faulty power steering pump. It makes sense that if your power steering pump is malfunctioning, you'll have trouble turning the steering wheel because it's what makes everything easy to turn in the first place. You'll probably hear a lot of loud engine noises if the power steering pump is having problems. Power steering pumps may experience a gradual malfunction or outright failure. In order to prevent a complete failure of your power steering pump while you are driving, you should replace it as soon as you suspect it is beginning to break. Modern cars typically have an electric power steering pump, which is likewise prone to malfunction. Low power steering fluid. Fluid is required for your power steering pump to function. Since the system is sealed, issues will arise sooner rather than later if there is a leak. Similar to when there's a problem with the power steering pump, noises from the engine bay are usually audible when the power steering fluid is low, especially when turning. You can't just add fluid and call it good, though, if you are dehydrated. Somewhere there's a leak that needs to be fixed. Remember that you risk damaging your power steering pump if you run it too long without enough fluid. A broken serpentine belt. Most car models have a belt-driven power steering pump, so if the belt breaks, the motor will not function. It will be challenging to turn the steering wheel in the absence of a working power steering pump. A broken serpentine belt, on the other hand, will cause more issues than just a difficult-to-turn steering wheel. This is due to the fact that the serpentine belt also regulates the alternator, water pump, engine fan, air conditioning, and more. On the other hand, steering difficulties may be what you notice right away. Damaged steering components. Every part has room to move and turning the wheel is simple when everything is operating as it should. However, you have to push those parts through the damaged area if you have a snapped or damaged component. This can make it difficult to turn the wheel and places a great deal of additional stress on the entire system. Worse yet, if you do force the part, it may shatter other parts of the system, such as the power steering pump. Old power steering fluid. It needs to be replaced as it ages and breaks down. The typical lifespan of power steering fluid is 70,000 to 100,000 miles, but it's likely that until much later on that you won't notice any noticeable changes in the steering's resistance. That does not, however, imply that you should forego changing your fluids. This is due to the fact that outdated power steering fluid can result in premature wear and tear on your power steering pump and other steering parts, as well as increased maintenance expenses. Low tire pressure. It may be more difficult to turn the steering wheel if your tires are underinflated. It will be more difficult to turn the lower the air pressure. On the other hand, your tires are probably very low before you notice anything. Additionally, it will still be simpler to turn the steering wheel than it would be with a broken serpentine belt or a completely destroyed power steering pump, even if your tires are extremely low, including a flat tire. Conclusion. You want it to be simple to turn the steering wheel. You should get it fixed as soon as it starts to become problematic. For a while, you might be able to push through it, but when something untoward happens, you need to be able to move aside as fast as possible. Additionally, there's a greater chance that you will break more system components the longer you wait. The steering system repair process doesn't have to be difficult. All you have to do is know where to search. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.